If this subcommittee wants to protect Americans' right to peacefully assemble, we should be focused on preventing federal officers from beating up protesters, tear gassing them, and shooting them in the face. That's the hearing we should be having today. Mr. Chairman, at this time, I would like to show a video that highlights the excessive use of force by federal agents in Portland. Thank you.
Hundreds of videos reviewed by the Times show that, although protesters were antagonistic, officers often responded with disproportionate force.
And this guy, wow!
They blanketed streets with tear gas.
Are you okay?
They struck protesters with batons and used flashbangs, pepper balls, and other less lethal munitions to clear the streets. Their actions often appeared to escalate rather than de-escalate matters, and in some instances they attacked when there was no apparent threat. On July 11th, protester Donovan Labella was at the federal courthouse when an officer appears to have fired at his head in retaliation for tossing a spent tear gas canister. Labella's mother told local media he suffered skull fractures and needed surgery. Later that night, when field medics sought officers' help for a wounded protester, they were aggressively cleared away.
Get up.
On July 18th, a Navy veteran was batoned and pepper sprayed in another unprovoked attack. His right hand was broken and he needs surgery. Sometimes members of the press were hit.
He got shot in the back, obviously, and he's wearing press.
This photographer, Matthew Lewis Rowland, told the Times that a volley of 10 projectiles were fired into his back.
Ow! God, what the... This way, don't leave on...
In the middle of all this, protesters were detained in ways that alarmed civil rights advocates and former Homeland Security officials.
Can your people identify themselves as law enforcement?
On July 15th, several federal officers were filmed driving in unmarked vehicles in the blocks around the courthouse.
How are we supposed to know who you are? How are we supposed to know you're not kidnapping us and you're civilians kidnapping us?
One protester was detained at this location nearby.
What are you doing?
Federal officers wouldn't identify themselves,
Use your words.
but patches on the right and left sides of their uniforms match those used by members of BORTAC, the tactical unit from Customs and Border Protection. They drove the protester away in an unmarked car. DHS says federal officers have made 43 arrests since July 4th.